Tonight on News 5 Live, Governor of the Central Bank ousted, but vows to defend his reputation. A double murder in Punta Gorda may be revenge killing. Body of a young man trying to rescue another retrieved near Billy White. And residents of Spanish Lookout still not fully complying with mask mandate. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, August 13th. I am Sabrina Daly. Shockwaves sent through the Central Bank of Belize this evening when staff received an email from their governor, Gustavo Manuel Vasquez, telling them his appointment had been terminated by the Governor General on the instructions of the Ministry of Finance, effective immediately. According to the email, Vasquez had been in discussions with the government, which wanted to buy over the remains of his contract, and that up to Thursday, those discussions had continued with no resolution. Vasquez also assured the staff he had, quote, tried to restore the integrity and operational autonomy of the central bank, unquote. but that he had faced opposition from the Ministry of Finance and unnamed special finance and economic factor interests. It seems Vasquez will not simply be going quietly, for he ends his communication by vowing to take, quote, all necessary actions to defend myself and my reputation and that of the central bank, unquote. Gustavo Manuel Vasquez just took over the post on April 1st, succeeding Ambassador Joy Grant. Late this evening, the board of directors of the central bank issued a release announcing the departure of Vasquez. The release says that the Prime Minister will advise the GG at an appropriate time regarding the designation of a new governor of the bank. Current chairman Sidney Campbell has been directed by the PM to shepherd the bank's operations until the new governor is appointed. 46-year-old Medardo Canelo and his nephew, 33-year-old Lawrence Canelo, were shot and killed inside their place of business in Punta Gorda last night. The double murder took place during curfew hours, but while the men lived where they worked, their killer moved in and out of the neighborhood freely. The shooting happened on Cayo Street sometime after 9:30 when Medardo and Lawrence were counting the proceeds of the day's business. During the shooting, an 18-year-old woman was also injured. News 5's Isani Cayetano has that story.
An uncle and his nephew were robbed out in a hail of bullets on Thursday night in Punta Gorda. The deadly shooting took place here at Flash Bar and Cool Spot shortly before 10 p.m. According to the victim's niece, who spoke with News 5 on the condition of anonymity, the men were inside the establishment when they met their demise.
My cousin called me, my uncle's daughter, the deceased, called me, and that's how I know. And she started crying and said, my daddy died, and Fish, that's what they call my brother, Fish. And I'm like, no, I was sleeping. This was like 10:30, 11. And I was sleeping while she and I just jump up because I don't know what to do. Then it's curfew and we can't come out to check.
Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood shared details of the double homicide from his desk at the Raccoon Street Police Station.
Police received a call sometime around 9:50 p.m. on Thursday, the 12th of August. Upon arrival at the scene, they saw a motionless body at a bungalow building believed to be Flash Bar and Cool Spot. Upon checking the building, they saw another person, motionless of course. Then they found the identity to be Lawrence Anthony Canelo, 33 years, and his uncle Medardo Adam Canelo, 46 years. Our investigation has revealed so far that these men, who also reside on the rear portion of that establishment, were inside checking their sales for the day when they heard the knocking at the back door of the establishment. The uncle was more inside the building, so Lawrence went to the back door and said, open the back door, of course, when they were hit by a barrage of bullets.
The pair was caught flat-footed in the salvo of gunshots. A woman who was inside the bar was also injured. In describing her sibling, the young lady who spoke with us off camera said that he mostly kept to himself.
He don't fool with no one, he kept to himself. My uncle, the same thing. They are just two loving person, they are close, they hang together all the time. They are not them those type of person like for say it's a like known to the police or anything. They are not like that. They're just full of love and just a hang-out person having fun. That's it.
Police are exploring the likelihood of the murders being an act of reprisal for a previous killing several months ago.
There were excessive expended shells found on the scene, and we know that we can rule out robbery indeed. Not only that, but if it was a robbery, they wouldn't have leave behind a witness that could. But of course they were wearing masks, so identity wouldn't be of any concern to them. But yes, it would want to suggest that We're looking for persons that may have some kind of grievance with these people.
Might it be a retaliation for a prior murder in that town?
Well, we cannot say that for sure, but I know that one person of interest is being sought, known to the police.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Asana Cayetano.
The double homicide in Punta Gorda last night occurred during curfew hours. And despite the fact that both victims were at home, police are revisiting their strategy to further enforce the restriction of movement after 9 p.m. According to Communications Director Fitzroy Yearwood, they have observed shops that still conduct business inside the curfew hours. He says that the department will be cracking down on these offenders.
The curfew started at 9 p.m. We know that establishments should be closed 1 hour to allow their employees to go home. So the first thought that comes to me is that we are not adhering and enforcing the curfew laws enough. For people to be walking out there almost freely, well, freely in this case, some 50 minutes after 9 o'clock. So one, we will have to revamp the strategy when it comes to the way that area is being policed. One. Two, from the person who would open a door to an establishment would suggest that it is a regular practice. So then we have to look into these, what we refer to as knock-knock stores and bars. Of course, we know that the curfew is 9 o'clock, which is rather early for adult on Thursday. And it is evident that people are being entertained at these establishments to come and make purchases after curfew hour.
As we reported last night, a security guard from the Northern Fishermen Cooperative in Belize City was robbed of $25,000 in cash on Thursday evening. Lindsberg Diaz told police he was walking towards the office on North Front Street when he was accosted by 2 armed thieves. The men relieved him of a knapsack containing the cash and escaped through an alley off Main Road. Today, officers were back on the scene reviewing surveillance cameras and from the area, canvassing residents who may have seen the crime as it unfolded. Communications Director of the Belize Police Department, Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood, says that the area is usually bustling with people, so they are hoping that someone comes forward with information.
Investigators arrived on the scene and they made an extensive search, but to this time we have not recovered any of the cash or not even detained any of the 2 suspects that he said were wearing masks.
Sir, no, in a case like this, again, it indicates that there is inside knowledge of the movements of an employee with large sums of money. Are you able to say if these, you all believe the robbers had internal knowledge? Was it an inside job, so to speak?
I don't know what is their collection process, but he's claiming that when he arrived somewhere around Petticoat Alley, that these men attacked him, took away the bag and ran through Petticoat. He managed to make it to his office where he hurriedly reported what took place with him. So, like I am saying, probably it's a process that worked for them for many years, but you know, street criminals usually study patterns, and in that area, it wouldn't take long for wind to get around as to what you, Jules, would be carrying in a backpack on a Thursday afternoon. So it's really difficult. But we know that we're canvassing that area and hopefully we will get some information. This is an area where people are always on the side of the street doing business.
There's a tragic story from the West as a young man being hailed as a hero drowned. Witnesses say David Klassen was trying to save a child in the river when he went under and never came up again. After an extensive search, this afternoon, members of the Belize Coast Guard, Spanish Lookout Emergency Response Team, and community members located Klassen's body. Julissa Montez, a family friend, spoke to News 5 via phone.
Yesterday, this man that has the cornfield down by the river, he came to us and he was asking for David Klassen's wife, but then we told him we didn't know where she was. So then he told us what was happening. He said that he saw David drowning, trying to save another girl that was drowning also. So we then called my cousin. He lives close where he is, and we asked him if he could take us down to the river to see what happened. And he came. We went down to the river, and then there was the little girl's family, and they were trying to bring the girl to the side of the river. And when they finally got her to this side, they came out, and then we asked them for David, and they said they didn't know. And then the little girl's father, he said that David could swim, so they just came home, and then we stayed behind, and then my cousin went into the river with this other guy that reached there to help, and they said they couldn't find nothing because the river was too dirty. So then we came home. We came home, and they couldn't find David.
Klassen was celebrating his birthday and father's birthday on the day he drowned. This afternoon, the Belize Police Department confirmed the recovery of a body from the Belize River believed to be that of 28-year-old David Klassen. According to Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood, Klassen almost made it across the river to rescue a person in distress when he went under and did not resurface.
Police received information around 1:27 that there was a drowning in Belize village in the river, of course. When they proceeded to the scene, they spoke to one Mr. Miguel Zul, who informed them that David Klassen, 28 years, came to him at his house running, stating that there was a little girl hanging from a branch in the river. He's saying that Klassen then ran back towards the river and attempted to swim to the area where this young lady was hanging from a branch. He's saying that Klassen was almost in the vicinity of this young lady when he just went under and did not resurface. He is saying that he then called for police assistance, and he himself tried to rescue Klassen, but up to us doing this interview, I was recently informed that a body was found. I cannot confirm whether it's David Klassen's body as yet, but we're hoping that we bring some form of closure to the family.
Coming up, attorney Audra Matura has some thought-provoking comments on mandatory vaccines. Find out if she thinks such a move by GOB would survive a legal challenge. Stay with us.
Hello friends, this is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, open rebuke is better than love that is hidden. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are lavish and deceitful. What do you do when you know one of your Christian brothers or sisters has sinned? And you do know that Christians do sin. Christians are not perfect but forgiven, and they are work in progress. The Apostle Peter sinned by denying Jesus on one occasion. David yielded to lust and was guilty of adultery. Demas forsook the Lord. So what do? Do you pat them on the back and say, do better the next time? No. Galatians 6:1 says, if a man be overtaken in a fault, you which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Jesus said, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Proverbs 28:13 says, he that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. Proverbs 27:5 and 6 says, open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. True friends do not console you when you are wrong, but lovingly confront and correct you. Correction and rebuke can be rough medicine, but a true friend is one who can tell your faults, conceal them from others, and maintain your treasured friendship. This is a test of true friendship. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
The TV you love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV. Entertainment anytime, anywhere.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
How does the AstraZeneca vaccine work? The vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19. The body is left with a supply of memory cells that will remember how to fight the virus. It takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after vaccination. How long does it take to build immunity after taking the first dose of the vaccine? There is protection 14 days after a person's first dose. However, that initial protection may decline over time, which is the reason why it is so important to get the second shot. How long after the first dose should one take the second dose? The second dose should be given between week 8 and week 12. Are there any deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine? There have been no deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccines save lives. They remain the safest, most effective, and cost-effective medical tool developed. Increased uptake of the vaccine is the best way to stop this pandemic, save lives, and return to normalcy.
My name is Julie, and I'm a single mom raising a 10-year-old son. I'm the director for a conservation organization. When I started working in the field of marine conservation, it was absolutely male-dominated. It still is male-dominated. One of my first jobs was as a manager out on a remote island with all male staff reporting to me. And one of my assistants was very upset with me and actually told me, the only woman who ever tells me what to do is my mom. And I have my son, and I really do want to show him that really anything can be done, and it doesn't matter who you are. From day one, I've been teaching my son that any job that a man can do, a woman can do. And he has learned this, and he now preaches this to friends and even my colleagues.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
The most recent cabinet briefing indicated that the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers are exploring the possibility of imposing mandatory COVID vaccinations or to require vaccination passes for people using public spaces and business facilities. The announcement has triggered a debate about how legal such a move would be. While News 5's efforts to get a comment from the Human Rights Commission of Belize were not successful, we did engage attorney Audrey Matura on the matter.
The number one argument is found in the Constitution itself. Section 3 of the Constitution reads, and allow me to just read this part. It says, whereas every person in Belize is entitled to the fundamental rights and freedoms of an individual, that is to say, the right, whatever your race, your place of origin, political opinion, color, creed, or sex, but subject, and I emphasize, but subject to the rights and freedoms of others, and for the public interest, to each and all of the following, namely, your right to life, liberty, security, freedom of conscience, right, freedom to work, all of that. They're saying you have all these freedoms. You have it. But it is subject to the freedoms and rights of other people.
But there are some who feel they have a legitimate argument to challenge the government in a court of law over the measure. Matura says their argument might not be that strong in her opinion.
Argument I would make for a client is the options you gave me, are they reasonable? It's not that you can't give me the option, is it reasonable? So is it reasonable to ask me to be vaccinated? When you look at the statistics, the data, so you can say yes. Is it reasonable to ask me to get a PCR test? You might say yes or no. I think that is the weakest point. That is where, if I was the attorney representing the against argument, I would say it is not fully reasonable in the sense that what it will cost these people to get the test is too much.
Matura is of the view that Belizeans have not latched onto the notion of taking the vaccine because people simply have lost trust in our political leaders over time.
People are more in fear. People are acting out of fear. There are a lot of people who really don't understand. There's no access to all kind of conspiracy theories. There's access to all kind of crazy idea. But more important, those things take hold, Marian, because for decades in our country, even after independence, we have had one corrupt government after the other and other. You've never really fully trusted them. So now you're asking people to undo decades of distrust to suddenly say, oh, the government is doing the right thing for me. Now, all along, they've not been doing the right thing for you. And that national sense of distrust is coming home to roost now. So what the government is reaping is also years of ignorance that they have benefited from. You're making people then feel that you're attacking them. And this is the only time they will get to fight back, because when they're at the polls, they don't really get to fight back. We are being irrational, even though it's against our own interests, but you're only reaping what I said, decades of corruption and decades of keeping people down.
News 5 reached out to several other attorneys asking for their input on this matter, but they all declined to comment. One of them on the basis that sharing his personal thoughts would conflict with his representation of a client. On Thursday, the Commissioner of Police lamented the number of communities he has visited recently where people are flouting mask regulations and police are looking the other way. He mentioned Placencia, Hopkins, and St. Bite, but he also cited Spanish Lookout. Today, News 5 did its own check-in to see if masks are being worn in this predominantly Mennonite community. Paul Lopez attempted to ask community leaders for their views, but he did not have much luck. He also did not see any police trying to enforce the national mask mandate.
We've observed business establishments accommodating customers not wearing masks. In some of those businesses, we've also observed employees not adhering to the mask mandate. Section 4 of the Public Health Prevention Regulations 2020 stipulates that every person shall wear a face mask or other face and nose and mouth covering at all times. The Spanish Lookout community's workforce numbers up to 4,000. We learned that, however, that in many cases, masks are not mandated for employees or customers. It appears as if the mask mandate is not a thing in the Spanish Lookout community. In fact, it seems as if Spanish Lookout is a small country of its own. While no one would comment on camera, we were told that some business people here believe masks decrease the productivity of their employees, many of whom are assigned to laborious duties. We are also aware that the community has come under heavy criticism in recent weeks for its lack of adherence to the national mask mandate. We sought to get an on-record interview from community leaders today. We can say that we sat down in a meeting with one leader for about half an hour today. At the end of that meeting, we were told that the leaders are not prepared to go on record to make a comment at this time. The Minister of Health has reportedly held meetings with the members of the community. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, police have reportedly issued a number of tickets for these violations. Yet, the issue goes unabated. The Commissioner of Police recently said that police presence would increase in this community. But on the contrary, we've been here for just over 2 hours and we have not seen a police mobile in sight. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
After the break, find out who the climate experts are now saying is causing all the extreme weather we are experiencing. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
Available at Ben's Quality and Savings.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Here are 3 reasons why people choose Dunes as their #1 store. Reason 1, for loans of up to $1,000 in cash for unexpected emergencies. The process is quick and easy. Reason 2, for a wide variety of household items such as smart TVs, washers and dryers, stoves, refrigerators, freezers, cookware, back-to-school supplies, and much more. Check out our comfortable sofa sets in various sizes and styles. And reason 3, we are agents for Western Union, where you can send or receive money in minutes or pay all your utility bills and avoid waiting in long lines. And don't forget, Dunis provides layaway plans and credit on all household items. So make the right choice and shop for the best quality products at competitive prices with friendly customer service.
Dunis, located at number 57 Albert Street, Belize City, and in Corozal at number 8 Park Street South. Give us a call at 280-5209, 650-6580, or 422-3342. Dunis!
Nestle. Start healthy, stay healthy.
Hot days, dry weather, and even floods. These extreme changes in the weather that are being experienced and affecting all sectors are caused by you. You heard right. An Intergovernmental Climate Change 2021 report is sharing evidence which says that human activities are causing changes in the climate. As News 5's Dwayne Moody finds out, if something is not done at all levels of society, Belize can very well lose coastal communities within the next 20 to 30 years.
Hotter days, more intense storms, longer droughts, floods, and erosion. Those are among the many impacts of climate change in the region over the years. And a recent release from the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change provides data to support the climate trends being experienced on the ground today.
Belize and also the Caribbean region, the major extremes that have been affecting us and will continue to affect us are hot extremes. Like you said, it's getting hotter. Today is also a hot day. But hot extremes is one of the climate extremes that are increasing. And also heavy precipitation and flooding, drought. In the last report, there is high confidence that agricultural and ecological drought, as well as meteorological and hydrological drought, are increasing and will continue to increase with our current path and even future scenarios. And also, there has been, there is expected to be a further increase in the most intense tropical cyclones, category 3 and above, with this new report.
The IPCC's 6th assessment report addresses the most up-to-date physical understanding of the climate system and climate change. This science-based information, which is supported by data provided by the National Meteorological Service, helps to influence climate change policy in Belize. One of the primary findings is that climate change is a result of human activity.
Climate change is human-caused. So that is one of the resounding findings in this particular report. And it also highlighted what was previously found in past IPCC assessment reports, such as the special report on 1.5. It just basically reiterated what was already found. And also new information has been gathered, is that there has been global warming. The Earth and the climate system is getting warmer. And currently we are at 1.1 degrees of warming.
Limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees by 2050 is part of the foundation of the Paris Agreement, for which governments and policymakers signed on to back in 2016. If the world does not reduce its carbon footprint and greenhouse gas emissions, that goal may be surpassed.
Even with the lowest possible emission scenarios, it is possible, but achieving and attaining 1.5 degrees of global warming is still within reach. And so if we do what is right reduce our carbon emissions, then we don't necessarily have to surpass 1.5 and even reach 2 or even some of the higher degrees of warming based on the other scenarios of climate change.
Even more frightening is that coastal communities have been washed away literally due to sea level rising. As it currently stands, sea level is up by 20 centimeters across the region. If mitigating efforts are not enforced, it can be by as much as 3 meters by 2050.
And it's already affecting Belize in particular. And by 2050, on the low emission pathway scenario, we could be at 0.5 meter. Globally, the sea level rise has been about 20 centimeters, but with these future projections and the different scenarios, we can look at, if we don't reduce our carbon footprint, look at an increase in sea level rise with about between 1 meter to 3 meters, and that is a lot. 20 centimeters is already causing significant damage, especially for small islands and Caribbean cities and other coastal communities. So imagine what it will be if we reach to even 1 meter or 3 meters and more based on the higher emission scenarios.
3 meters, that's almost 10 feet high. And with Belize City already below sea level, this is not good news. And so our leaders have joined forces with other small island development states to hold larger countries accountable for their GHG emissions and reduce the impacts of global warming.
It all depends on our carbon footprint and what we do in the near term, which is between the years 2021 to 2040. So what we do between the next 20 years will be critically important for us.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Just ahead, COVID may have cost them their jobs, but now they have some new skills to create their own opportunities. Details when we come back.
Digi's got the summer deals, and now's the time to join in on Digi's Back to School raffle. Win big with any of our 3 easy ways to enter. 1. Purchase any device on promotion. 2. Be a Digicel or Diginet prepaid customer with at least $10 in usage. 3. Make the switch. Join the Digi family between July 1st and 31st, and you're automatically in to win. Don't miss out on your chance to win Digi's Back to School package, including a laptop, MiFi, and 3 months of free data, all valued over $2,000. Win big with Digi's Back to School raffle, cause Digi's got the summer deals. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com or visit a Digi store near you.
I feel honored. Truthfully, like I said, as a teacher, I feel that this is my highlight for the month, I guess. A beautiful way to start the month. To be among students who are aspiring to be someone. Today, we trust in you. We believe in you, because to have been chosen out of the 350 students, there is a spark in you that we saw, that we believe in. Now it's up to you to go out there and let that spark illuminate the world. We need that in Belize, and we at Social Security are depending on you to bring that light to life.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call a way out, or our cell phone number, 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
This Monday on Get the Facts. They've spent the last year and a half treating patients at the KHMH COVID unit. Now, Dr. Eric Bradley and Nurse Casilda Bowman tackle your questions about the risk for contracting COVID in vaccinated people and shed light on what they're now seeing in patients with the recent spread of the Delta variant. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 16th. Catch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Send your questions to 672-5555 or via Facebook using hashtag #GetTheFacts. The Young Women's Christian Association has been around for decades, improving the lives of Belizean women and children through training and courses that promise to bring about economic growth. And today, the non-governmental organization issued certificates to 5 of 40 participants who completed life skill courses after they lost their jobs due to COVID. The training was the result of a partnership with the Social Security Board. News 5's Marian Ali has this report.
It might have only lasted for 4 days, but these 5 individuals feel that the training they have received have given them the know-how to carry them through the roughest part of their lives. Altogether, the Y trained 40 persons countrywide. Natalie Palacio Puk, a vendor of Willows Bank Village in the Belize district, was one of them.
Cruise tourism came to a close and a halt. My family was dramatically affected because both myself and my husband were in the cruise tourism industry. Right. At the time when it happened, we were obligated and had to deal with not only ourselves but our 3 children and as well as my elderly parents. So that definitely caused a household of 7 persons to become affected with not having a sustainable source of income.
The impact of the pandemic on women like Palacio Puk is what led the Y to offer a basic course so participants can generate money for themselves.
We know that people always tend to move towards these specific courses, naming, sewing, culinary arts, and food preparation because it's a market. And this market never fails. These people actually learned what we would teach in 3 months in 1 week. So we started off from 9 o'clock in the morning and we would commence around 4:35. So that's a full day of training non-stop.
The Y carries out its programs through solicitations, and the project coordinator, Giovanni Collins, told us that the Belize Social Security Board was happy to help with this one.
Due to COVID and it's bringing everybody to its knees and the economy itself. So we're happy that we have partnered with Social Security to bring forth such training, not only to give YWCA business, but to continue our mission at the YWCA to empower women and youth.
The partnership, according to SSB's General Manager of Customer Relations Services, Chandra Cancino, comes this time around as part of SSB's 40th anniversary celebration. SSB, she said, thought it fit to empower 40 persons who were left wanting because of COVID.
Empowering 40 was directly targeted towards the persons who lost employment during the COVID-19 pandemic. And so that is what the requirements for applying for these courses included. That you had to be unemployed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, be a registered person with Social Security and have a Social Security number, and be able to complete the program.
Cancino says the courses are facilitated by YWCA across Belize and include barbering, cake decorating, food preparation, and sewing. Marian Ali for News 5.
A meeting of the Administrative Commission under the partial scope agreement between the government of Belize and the government of the Republic of Guatemala ended today. The two-day sessions at the Lee Richardson Building in Belmopan covered a wide range of issues, including food and plant safety, customs and trade facilitation matters, review of existing agriculture quotas, updated tariff codes, transportation of goods into Guatemala, and payments. The government of the Republic of Guatemala was represented by Alba Edith Flores Ponce de Molina, Vice Minister of Integration and Foreign Trade. Ambassador Amalia Mai, Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, led Belize's delegation. Eamon Courtney, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Immigration, delivered the keynote address. He expressed the urgency to reconvene the work of the Administrative Commission. He asserted that the private sector in both countries is ready to trade and invest. Time is a limited resource for teachers and students, and the issue of having too much content crammed into a curriculum affects their ability to learn qualitatively. While it is not the same as excessive workload for teachers and school leaders, there is a tendency to include new content items into the curriculum as a response to new demands without proper consideration of what needs to be removed. The Ministry of Education has been looking at the issue closely, and Dr. Luis Zabanet presented on the need of curriculum reform during a recent consultation meeting.
In our research, we found that the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development represents mostly developed countries themselves have seen this issue of curriculum overload in their countries. So they made the following statement that confronted with the needs and requests of parents, universities, and employers, schools are dealing with curriculum overload. As a result, students often lack sufficient time to master key disciplinary concepts or, in the interest of a balanced life, to nurture friendships, to sleep, and to exercise. It is time to shift the focus of our students from more hours of learning to quality learning time. So we see that it's not us just here in Belize that we have observed the negative effects of curriculum overload, but other countries are also seeing that we must not sacrifice quality with quantity.
Just ahead, they made it to the Dominican Republic and are now proudly showing off their medals. Belizean cyclists doing us proud in the Caribbean when we return.
Hey son, how was your first day at sixth form?
Really cool. It was great to see my friends, and I really love my teachers.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your first day, but I'll be back from Corozal next week.
It's okay, Dad. I can't wait to see you. Oh, and please remember, I still have some books I need to purchase.
Ah, yes. Let me e-cash you that right now. Money has been sent. I add a little extra cash just for you.
Whoa, Dad. Thanks. Got it.
You're welcome, sir.
Download the eCash app today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257. eCash, the future is here.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
The director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne, has expressed concern about COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in Caribbean countries. Speaking at her weekly media briefing, Dr. Etienne, who is from Dominica, urged the public of the region to get vaccinated, wear masks, and adhere to all local public health measures. She noted that small islands in the Caribbean have limited bed capacity in intensive care units, along with limited numbers of specialized doctors. Dr. Etienne says she does not know what sources of information are triggering the high level of vaccine hesitancy, but she urges everyone to, quote, listen to the sources where you have truthful, scientifically based information and evidence, unquote. She also appealed to residents to trust the local vaccination systems that have served them so well before.
I want to make a special appeal to my fellow Caribbean persons to please, we have to be extremely careful. We have limited bed capacity and limited ICU capacity in our small islands. We also, in smaller islands, we have limited expertise in terms of the number of healthcare workers, the number of respiratory therapists, the number of anesthetists. And our health systems will become overwhelmed very quickly. I don't know the sources of the information that is triggering this level of vaccine hesitancy. I can tell you that they are not scientifically proven. And I want to appeal to you to listen to the sources where you have truthful, scientifically based information and evidence.
Insisting that the vaccines work, the PAHO director said the proof was that more than 95% of COVID-19 cases that ended in hospitalization or death were persons who were not vaccinated.
It is really foolhardy to not adhering to public health measures, not becoming vaccinated in a situation where capacity is limited in terms of hospital capacity. It is really foolhardy. We are playing with our lives. So my appeal to you is get up, wake up from that slumber, wake up from that dream, because we know that the vaccines are safe. They do have side effects. Those are extremely rare. And I want to assure you that we are monitoring the occurrence of those side effects. They're being monitored nationally, regionally, and globally.
In the English-speaking Caribbean, more than 1 million COVID-19 cases and more than 16,136 deaths have been reported since the beginning of the pandemic. To date, only 15% of the population has been fully vaccinated, according to PAHO figures. Earlier this week, we reported that 4 cyclists would not be representing Belize in the Dominican Republic after testing positive for COVID-19. But the rest of the delegation did make it and have done Belize proud in the Caribbean Cycling Championships. On Thursday, Kayak Catus came second in the elite for female cyclists, while Oscar Quiros captured the bronze medal. Today, it was the time trial day, and once again, Catus and Quiros nabbed second and third in their elite categories, respectively. Here's a snippet of a video courtesy of Andrew Ordonez.
Thanks for all the continuous support from Belize and everyone that's out here. Today, I think I rode a very competitive race. It was hard, difficult, but you know, it wasn't the result that I quite wanted, but after being satisfied with what I got, the terrain was difficult. So I think in the end I fought well. I leave mishaps in the end in a technicality of a sprint, but at the end of the day I lived to fight another day, you know, and well, I flirted with the podium again. Yeah. And you know, sometimes you go down, sometimes you go up, but at least I'm on the podium again for a second consecutive time.
We're proud of the Caribbean Championships. We are calling on the 3rd place, Juan Cabrera from Cuba, Joan Fernandez from Cuba on 2nd place, and Walter Spread from Grenada.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/news5live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.